Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 160. And today we're returning with the special in-depth look at the save. That's right, after winning the title on the final day, we have completed a domestic double in our first season with Atletico Madrid. And whilst we might have failed a European objective, it was still a very successful season in Spanish football. So in today's episode, we're going to wrap up the season in total, show you the full players' stats, what went on around the world, and also discuss the World Cup, which starts tomorrow as well. So loads of stuff to get through today. Let's just get straight to it. And I think we will start off with one final look at La Liga table. I know some people don't watch the full season, we just want to see how we got on in the special in-depth look at the saves. So if you didn't watch the remaining episodes of Season 7, basically we erased our 13-point deficit, I think with 2 games to go, and then won it on the final day courtesy of a big 4-0 victory against SDI Bar. So we finished level on points with Barcelona. Whilst we had the worst goal difference record than Barcelona, in La Liga it goes head-to-head record first before goal difference. That's why we pipped Barcelona to the crown with 30 wins in 38 games. We were the only team this season to beat Barcelona as well. That came at home, of course. Real Madrid and Athletic Bilbao wrapped up the top 4 with Valencia and Deportivo Alaves going into next year's Europa League. And as to the bottom 3, Rayo Vallecano, Girona and Deportivo are down to the Segunda Division. Now as for the individual stats in the La Liga season, as you can see, Ivan Toney won his 5th straight Golden Boot with another great season. It was, however, the first time he's failed to hit 30 goals in these past 5 seasons. The last 4 seasons, he had 30 or more goals for the campaign. This time, he could only manage a measly 28 and 37. But anyway, it's still a great season, finishing 2 clear of Silva, who was runner-up, and Vinicius Jr. in 3rd. So Toney, 5 straight Golden Boots, and his 1st in La Liga. And you might notice as well, Calvert-Lewin, who now plays for Valladolid. He got 9 goals in 34. Go on, DCL, making it into the top 25. Toney also had more assists than anyone else in La Liga as well. Got one on the final day to pit Pepe to the crown, so that was really nice to see. Well done, Antonio Palacios too was in 3rd place with 11 in 35 games. And Jan Oblak had more clean sheets than anyone else this season on his way to winning the Golden Glove with 24 clean sheets in 38 games. The player of the competition ended up going to Vinicius Jr. I must say, maybe I'm being a bit biased here, but I personally think it should have gone to Ivan Toney, as he had more goals and assists than anyone else this season. However, Oblak did win the goalkeeper of the tournament. No surprise there, as he had more clean sheets than anyone else on his way to winning the Golden Glove. Toney, of course, won the Golden Boot, as you saw there. And as for the team of the competition, I haven't seen this, but Oblak made it. Shaw made it. Go on, Shaw. As did Palacios, Dominguez, Felix and Toney making it as well. So there was Diaz, Hermoso, Trent, Diatta and Pepe from Barcelona and Real Madrid. So every single player was in the top 3 in La Liga this season. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 representatives. Oblak, Shaw, Dominguez, Palacios, Felix and Toney. If I'm being honest here, I think Sergio should have made it as well. Either way, 6 players in the team of the season, including our strike duo. Very nice to see. I'm now going to run through the players' statistics for the season and take an in-depth look at our players this year. I know I spend ages on this. I'll try to be quicker this time, but talk about the players in depth a little bit. Starting with Jan Oblak, what a season he had this year on his way to win the Golden Glove in La Liga. 32 clean sheets in 57 games. This guy was an absolute monster this year, and I can pinpoint so many games where he single-handedly won us points with his saves. He really was extraordinary. Ollie Shaw began the season off okay, then he really tailed off, but he picked it up towards the end of the season, didn't he? Had a really good end to the campaign, and of course scored his 1st goals in professional football this season as well. So if you guys missed the remaining episodes in Season 7, you would have missed his 1st goals in professional football when he scored a brace against Sevilla. I'll never forget that. He scored 3 goals in La Liga, all coming towards the end of the season, and got 4 assists in 37 games. So he picked it up towards the end of the season, Ollie Shaw, with 23 clean sheets in 37, and of course got an assist in the Copa del Rey final as well. Sergio this season, what a monster he had. We signed him at the start of the season from RC Lens. He had potential to be special. We were really excited about him. He ended up taking Aymeric Laporte's place and forced the old man out the door as well. 20 clean sheets in 32 games and got that magical assist as well, which was truly extraordinary. That's why, in my opinion, opinion, he should have made the team of the season. He's only 21 years old, this kid. He's grown 6 ratings as well. This guy is on his way to becoming the best centre-back in world football. He was amazing this year in his debut season. DCJ was pretty decent since coming in. Had a slow, struggling start, but 8 clean sheets in 11. Not bad. The Belgian, with those insane physical stats, is on his way to becoming a really good centre-half in this team. And Emmanuel Ayer, real shame about Ayer. Of course, got injured midway through the season in the Copa del Rey semi-final. 12 clean sheets in 22 games. And when he went down, I was really worried. But Sergio really picked up the slack. But Ayer, as we know, absolute beast. Why he didn't develop at all this season, I don't know, as he's only 22 years old, but still had a good season prior to that ACL. Barry Walsh, first time we've seen Walsh in the series since season 4 with Sheffield United. His debut year at Atletico Madrid was, pretty decent. It wasn't amazing, but it was alright. He got a goal and assist in 4 Champions League games. I think he only played in, he didn't. He played in the knockout stage against City as well. But he did okay in the Champions League. And in La Liga as well, 2 goals, including 1 on the final day, and a sensational first goal for the club as well, which was one of the goals of the season, plus 5 assists in 26 games as well. Not bad from Barry this season, only grew to single rating, but not a bad debut at Atletico Madrid for the Northern Irish midfielder. I made this guy captain at the start of the season, Nicolas Dominguez, and I certainly don't regret it. He was absolutely fantastic, and there were so many moments this season where he was so brave and committed as part of our back line. He also grew a rating as well, getting 2 goals, 5 assists, and 22 clean sheets in 37 La Liga games. He was better when playing through the middle of the park and when I pushed him to his more regular position, but as a right back, this guy did everything we asked of him. I love the captain, man. I'm so glad I made him captain. He really did embody the captain spirit this year. And Palacios was one of our unsung heroes this year. He was one of the underrated players in the team. You guys had him in your saves, I'm sure. Those players who don't get all the attention, but they always put in a solid job. Palacios was that guy this year. 11 assists and 6 goals in 35 La Liga games. He was really good. Had a little spell on the sidelines midway through the season, but Palacios this season was consistently good and very rarely put a foot wrong all season long. Really good player. Ricky was a bit disappointing this season. Signed at the start of the campaign from Lyon. Only played 14 games in the league. Quite a few of those coming from the bench as well. Grew a rating, but didn't do that well, to be honest, in his first season at Atletico. Yartansen was one of the best bargain buys of the series, though, in my opinion. He played limited minutes this season, but when he did play, he looked so good. 3 assists in 12 Champions League games. That's averaging 1 every 4 games. He also scored a goal in La Liga as well, and got an assist in the Copa del Rey too. 5-star, weak foot, 4-star. Skills grew 6 ratings this year. The Icelandic kid looks so talented, and as a free agent signing, what a bargain he proved to be. Carl Soler started the season off in red-hot form and was probably our best player at the start of the season, but then he really fell off the pace, and of course lost his place to Jadon Sancho in the team when he came in January. 3 goals and 4 assists in 22 in La Liga and 2 in the Copa del Rey as well. Not too bad for Carlos, but he started off red-hot and then just cooled down a little bit towards the end of the campaign. Sancho, of course, was the superstar buy we replaced Laporte with in January, and he did okay since coming in for us. Of course, he had that fantastic second leg performance against his former team, or one of his former teams, Manchester City, and he also got 3 goals and 3 assists in 16 games in La Liga, and of course 2 in 2 in the Copa del Rey, including scoring in the Copa del Rey final as well. He could have been better, Jadon Sancho, no doubt about that, but as most of our play was centred down the middle of the park this season, that's why he wasn't as involved as he could have been. But either way, certainly not a bad return, and of course that injury towards the end of the season was a shame, which is why we didn't see him for the remaining couple of games. Mikel Oyarzabal had such a slow start in this team. We signed him from Juventus for a massive fee, plus Thomas Lemar, and I was expecting this guy to light La Liga on fire. In the end, he was a bit disappointing, if I'm being honest. But again, just like with Jadon Sancho, the defence of Mikel Oyarzabal is that most of our play this season was played through the middle of the park, hence why we saw Palacios get involved in more of our goals than our wingers. He still got 3 goals in La Liga though, and 7 assists as well, so it wasn't a bad season from Oyarzabal, but again, considering the money we spent, I was expecting a little bit better. But as for João Felix, what a season the Portuguese forward had. I did say at the start of the season I thought he was going to win the Golden Boot. In the end, it did go to Tony once again. However, if it wasn't for Ivan, he probably would have won the Golden Boot. 21 21 goals in 37 La Liga games and 9 assists as well. 4 in 6 in the Copa del Rey too, and he grew a rating to 94 overall to make him one of the very best players in world football. Good season from João Felix, could have been better, but either way, can't say no to 21 in 37, not a bad return at all, and a good strike partner for Ivan Toney, who we'll get to in a moment. Before that, Tammy Abraham, he was our Cup and European striker this year. He was like our Pinamonti of this season, if you will. 7 goals in 12 Champions League games. He was our top scorer in Europe this season. He only got 3 in 15 in La Liga, but most of his games came from the bench. In the Copa del Rey, 3 goals and 2 assists in 5 cup games as well. Tammy Abraham, consistent, reliable, and a solid backup striker for João. And of course this man, Ivan Toney, once again, Golden Boot winner. 5 straight in European leagues, 2 in the Premier League, 2 in the Serie A, and now 1 in his debut year in La Liga as well. First season where he fails to reach 30, bit disappointing, but listen, 28 goals and 13 assists in 37 games, that's pretty goddamn impressive. Great return from Ivan once again this season. The shocker, even at 30 years old, he is starting to show signs of decline, and this is why I say a big FU to EA. Are you serious? Ivan Toney's had 4 straight seasons of 30 plus goals, 1 40 goal season, 1 39 goal season, and 5 straight golden boots. Just because he's at 30, now he's got to show signs of decline. How is that fair? This game, man, honestly, EA just, I hate it, man, I really do. But Tony, what a season regardless, and yeah, he had a great season this year. And forget the red arrows, Ivan, you'll still have a place in my team if you continue to bang him in like you did this year. So my manager rating for my first season in Atletico ends up at 85, so very impressive indeed. We didn't do any youth scouting whatsoever this season. Some of you guys had been mentioning it in the comments, when are you going to start scouting this season? The reason I didn't bother youth scouting this year is because we're now into our 7th season, and I'm not sure how many more seasons we've got in the career mode, and therefore youth scouting now, I'm not sure if we'll have enough time to develop the players we get through the academy. That's why I decided not to do it this season. I still will consider doing it next year, but I thought this season, it got to the halfway point and I just thought, it's a bit too late to start now. And again, we're 7 seasons in, we're about to start our 8th season. I'm not sure we'll be able to develop any players to come out of the academy properly. We hit our first brand exposure objective, which again is almost impossible to fail in career mode, gaining those earnings from shirt sales. We of course failed our European objective this season. That was such a shame. I was targeting my first Champions League final this season, and really, let's be honest here, we should have got it. We knocked out my former team Roma in a round of 16, we knocked out Man City in the quarterfinals, in the semi-finals I absolutely choked against Inter Milan, and I have to say that as well, I bottled the semi-finals this year, totally choked it away. We should have made the final. That's my bad for us not doing it this year. Financially, we are going to fail our short-term objective by £680,000. How unlucky is that? But we did have a fantastic season domestically this year, winning the domestic double just like the board asked of us. That's the saving grace, and in my opinion I would say even failing the European objective, it was still a really solid first year at the Metropolitano. So next up, I'm going to show you what went on around the world in the other major European leagues. But before we get there, a quick look at the cups in Spain this year, where Barcelona won the Supercopa by beating Athletic Bilbao. Of course, we were knocked out in that thrilling 5-goal semi-final against the eventual winners. And of course, as you guys know, the Copa del Rey was won by us this season after beating Valencia in a 5-goal thriller in the final. So buzzing with that. I'll show you the Super Cup and the European Cups in just a moment's time. Before we do that, let's take a look at what went on around the world in the major European leagues, starting with the Premier League, where we're all desperate to find out where Sheffield United finished this season, and oh man, they fell off the pace. What a shame. Well, City were crowned champions on goal difference in the end, finishing ahead of Liverpool, both with 105 points, with Chelsea in 3rd and Manchester United in 4th. Arsenal, Spurs and Newcastle wrap up the Europa League place. But Sheffield United, what a shame, man. What a shame. They were in 7th midway through the season. Just couldn't cling on to a Europa League place. Would have been their first season back in Europe since I left them, but that's a big shame. Either way, the first time to finish in the top half of the table since I left them, so there's that, I guess. We'll do the lower leagues in England as well. Stoke City were champions of the Championship this year with 134 points. EA, please fix this, man. Undefeated and won 44 out of 46 games. Fulham, Burnley and Huddersfield, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, all had 108 points or more. Extraordinary. So Stoke and Fulham up automatically, and the playoffs contested by Burnley, Huddersfield, Cardiff and Middlesbrough as well. Millwall not in the Championship yet, so let's see how they got on in League 1. Oh man, we've really fallen off the pace in recent seasons. Sunderland Crown Champions of League 1, Luton up as well, with Ipswich, Coventry, MK Dons and Rotherham competing in the playoffs. Millwall finished in 13th in League 1. Lads, what's going on there? And League 2 this year was won by Walsall. They are champions of the 4th tier of English football. Ligue 1 was won this season by Paris Saint-Germain, finishing 1 point clear of Monaco, who were undefeated this season, but still couldn't pit Paris Saint-Germain. Didn't lose a single game all season long, yet still couldn't dethrone PSG. And the Bundesliga was won by Bayern Munich, finishing 2 points clear of RB Leipzig and 3 clear of Leverkusen, with Dortmund finishing in 4th place. Massive gap between 4th and 5th there. Hey, go on boys, Roma, Serie A champions. Yes, they've retained the title. Get in, Forza Roma. We still love you guys. 1 point clear of Juventus, so back-to-back Serie A titles for the lads from the Stadio Olimpico. I laid down the groundwork and now they're continuing the dominance. Go on Roma. Let's make sure we keep Juve off the throne for as long as possible. Juve in 2nd, a point behind Roma then. Inter in 3rd and Milan in 4th. I think that's how the league table finished last season, wasn't it? I can't remember now. And a couple more. The Eredivisie was won by Ajax, finishing 1 point clear of PSV and winning the title undefeated. The Portuguese league was won by Benfica, as they finished up with 90 points. 9-0 points, if you will. I hope that makes sense. I've only done 4 lessons, guys. Porto 2nd, Sporting 3rd and Braga in 4th. Not ready to bust out the fluent Portuguese just yet. Get in there though. Scottish Premier League was won by Celtic, and for the first time, Rangers did not finish in 2nd. Hearts pipped them on goal difference to finish runners up to Celtic this year, who continue their dominance. Have won the title every single season of this career mode so far. And let's take a look at the Turkish Super League as well, which was won by, oh wow, that's interesting. It's pretty much always Besiktas or Fenerbahce and sometimes Galatasaray, but Trabzonspor actually won the Turkish Super League this year. Wow, very interesting indeed. And where's the Segunda Division? Where's the 2nd tier of Spain? What? Where is the Segunda Division? Oh, do you know what? I think it might be that one, La Liga Smartbank. It is indeed. La Liga Smart, is that right? I thought it was called Segunda Division. Okay, well, never mind. Well, anyway, Malaga, crown champions of La Liga this season. Very interesting indeed, with Osasuna finishing runners-up. And, yeah, there you go. That's the Segunda Division. And you'll see who'll be going up to La Liga this season as Racing Santander finished ahead of the bottom 3. Go on, boys. So I don't think there's anything else to show you, actually. We've wrapped up this special in-depth quickly, at least by my standards here. I guess I could show you the manager career summary page, if you will. And as you can see here, Atletico Madrid, these haven't been calculated yet. However, we have, of course, hit both our domestic objectives this season whilst finishing in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Didn't win Manager of the Year, somehow. No Manager of the Month awards, somehow. But you can see how he got on this season, winning 43 of our 57 games and only losing 5 times all season long. And overall, you can now tack on 1 more league title and 1 more domestic cup to my career honours as well. After what was, again, I would say a successful first season at Atletico Madrid. Yes, of course, we failed in Europe, but domestically, you know, to win a domestic double, I would say it was still a pretty decent season. So I don't really know what else there is to show you, really. Other than the World Cup stuff. One final look at our team management section, perhaps, in the squad. Yeah, let's just dive into the World Cup stuff. Now, unfortunately, oh, sorry, I know I haven't showed you yet. The Champions League winner and the Europa League winners and whatnot. So who won the European Cups then? Let's find out together, because I don't even know. Super Cup this year was won by Man City, beating Arsenal in an all-English affair. The Europa League was won by, wait for it, by Leverkusen, beating Ajax by 3-0 in the final. Very interesting semis and final. That is really interesting, isn't it? Not a single English team were in the quarterfinals. Newcastle are in the round of 16 this year. How that's very interesting indeed. And the Champions League this year was won by, let's find out, Inter Milan. Oh, well, okay, so I'm not that mad about losing to them then. They, of course, knocked out in the semi-finals 3-2 over 2 legs. But in the end, I always say this, there's never any shame in getting knocked out by the eventual winners. Spurs, I think that's the second or third time they've reached the Champions League final in a row now, and they're still yet to win it. Poor old Tottenham Hotspur, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They're getting there, they just can't win the crown just yet. But Inter Milan winners, they knocked out in the semis, and they win the whole thing as well. Well done, Inter. So yeah, the final thing I'm going to show you today then is the squad heading into the World Cup 2026 with England. Now, unfortunately, guys, I have to be honest here, I wanted to pick the squad with you guys in today's episode. That was the original plan. But as I was advancing through to the final La Liga game in the last episode, I got an email, sorry, not an email, sort of pop-up flash up and tell me that it was the final day to submit my squad for the World Cup in 2026. So unfortunately, I had to do it before the final game in La Liga. What a shame that is, because I really wanted to pick it with you guys together. But anyway, this is the squad I've picked. There are quite a few absentees due to injury. That's why there's no Harry Kane, there's no Marcus Rashford. They're both injured, so unfortunately ineligible to be selected. And this is the squad I've currently got right now. Hang on, let me organise this first. So of course we are European Championship winners. We won it 2 years ago after the final demolition of France, and I was saying that possibly Ollie Shaw could be captain heading into this World Cup. I don't know what to take it away from John Stones. He's 32 now. Perhaps one last hurrah for John Stones, and then 2 years later at the Euros, pass the armband on to Ollie Shaw. Not sure. I think I will keep it with Stones, as he is the most senior player in this team, or joint senior, at 32 years old. But it's a very youthful England side regardless. There are a few 30-plus-year-olds. Sterling, Ali, Stones, and Pickford are the 30-plus-year-olds. But either way, it's quite a youthful England side. And there are some first-time England call-ups as well for Angel Gomez, who's made the side. Sam Hill. Do you guys remember this guy? He came out of our academy with Sheffield United. I don't think he still plays there. I'll have to have a look. But he's 83 rated now at just 20 years old. Oh, Sheffield United. Oh my goodness, what an academy graduate he's looking. Tamori Chilwell, Reece James, who now plays for the Blades himself actually in this save, and Mason Greenwood, who's also got the call up as well. So Hill, Tamori, James and Greenwood have all been called up, as well as Angel Gomez for the first time for a more youthful looking England side. So yeah, this is my squad for the World Cup. I'd imagine we'll still line up in the 4-3-3 we've been using since we took over as England manager. And yeah, I like the squad we've got, and I do feel very confident we should be able to reach the World Cup final for the first time. Obviously, 4 years ago, we were knocked out in the semi-finals by Argentina, and our group, I must say, is very generous indeed. We've got Denmark, Australia and South Africa, and no disrespect to those nations whatsoever. I don't think we'll cruise it, but I think we should be definitely favourites to qualify as group winners. See the other groups here, you've got Spain, Portugal, Romania and Uruguay in Group A. In Group B, Netherlands, Northern Ireland, Canada and Venezuela. In Group C, France, Czech Republic, China and Colombia. Group D has Argentina, Belgium, Austria and New Zealand. Group E, Italy, Slovenia, Wales and Egypt. Group F, Germany, Norway, Mexico and Ivory Coast. We are in Group G, and Group H has Brazil, Switzerland, Scotland and Cameroon as well. So yes, in the next episode, guys, we're going to return with the World Cup group stage. It will be coming out tomorrow morning, and we will also have all of the knockout stages in the next episode, which will be coming out in the evening. So that means that even if we reach the final of the World Cup, that will still be included in the knockout stages. It won't go into a separate episode. So yeah, in the morning we'll have the group stages, the 3 games, and in the knockout stages, if we get 3, which let's be honest here, we should be able to do, we'll have all the knockout games regardless of how far we go, even if we reach the final, in a separate episode, which will be up in the evening. And then on Sunday morning we'll begin a brand new season of Career Mode. Season 8 will be beginning on Sunday morning. So that will end today's episode, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's special in-depth look at the save, then please do drop a like. I don't think there's anything else to show you, so yes, we shall leave it there. Thank you for all the support on 7 seasons of Career Mode. I can't believe we've done 7 seasons, my longest Career Mode save in 5 years. And thank you so much for all the support, and for all of you guys, the guys that are still here since the very first episode. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Much love to you all, and I will see you for the next episode, where the World Cup will begin on Saturday morning. And if you want to miss the World Cup, then don't worry, it will be a special World Cup thumbnail. You'll see it in tomorrow's episode, and you can return for the new season on Sunday morning if you'd rather miss the international stuff. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning for the start of the World Cup. Much love, guys, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.